Today is another celebration of us, of our people in the past and the future, a celebration of the future, of how we can work together and survive together.
We're sitting here today at the mouth of the Nisqually River. This is where the fight started. This is where the fight happened. We were fighting for the survival of Indian people, of our culture, our fishing, our way of life. One of the things I always asked my dad growing up was, how come he never taught me the language? And he'd always say, because Gramps didn't teach it to us because of what was happening in the schools. Our people were being, beaten, and they were getting their hair cut for speaking our language. My dad and all of our elders who, went through the fishing wars, they went through the blood, sweat, and tears to keep us here. It's a different time now. It's a time of sustaining who we are as Nisqually people. Making sure that the next generation and the next generation and the next generation understand and recognize the significance of who we are. It's our culture, it's our way of life, and it is about educating that next generation.
In our district, I think the cornerstone of the long-term success working with the Nisqually tribe is the importance of building trust and the importance of making space for truth-telling and healing. So much of the history and journey of public education in this country has been to erase and minimize the presence of Native people and their contributions.
Yeah, just form with your groups and I'll point you in the direction.
To modernize and contemporize Native presence and contribution is really empowering, not just for the non-Native communities, but also there are pathways for our own cultural revitalization and resurgence. It's not just about educational outcomes, it's something special that you feel in that experience because there's a connection to place and you're learning directly from people.
We were horsemen back in the day, and we received our horses from one of our war chiefs. His mother was Yakima. And when she moved over to Nisqually and married a Nisqually man.
We live on the traditional lands of the Nisqually people, and we have a lot of interconnections now. The tribal council and our school board started to meet together, and so that has led us to just want to know and understand more.
We were able to come up with our annual Billy Frank Jr. Day celebration, where teachers and tribal citizens can spend time together, sometimes for the very first time, to ask questions, to interact, to build trust on an individual level, and see how that can spark the creativity for bigger and brighter work in our district.
We're at the North Thurston High School here in Lacey, Washington, the high school I graduated from, celebrating Billy Frank Jr. Day. When I graduated in 2000, I never thought I'd be back in the high schools now and seeing my dad, seeing our Nisqually history, hearing our songs, our drums, and all of that. I mean, it's truly a beautiful time.
It's really exciting to see the continued blossoming relationship between the tribe and the district. It's been a great honor to work with you guys and really kind of tell this story of the history of Nisqually.
It's a celebration of the life and legacy of Billy Frank Jr. So we're not really just talking about a man and what he did, but we're talking about environmental stewardship as a concept. We're talking about fighting for treaty rights. We're talking about civil disobedience. And I think that's inspiring to the larger community as well.
What my father's vision and his goals were, it's what we're doing right now. Education. Part of this statue going into Statuary Hall, it's going to be teaching a generation what tribal sovereignty is. It's trying to get a generation to understand the strength of tribal treaty rights, of our cultural rights, our cultural resources.
This is huge. We want to really make sure we have a robust educational component from beginning to end of this process and well beyond. I'd love to see Billy Frank Jr. and curriculum around this whole process and his work be part of future curriculums at all schools.
You know, I think the biggest takeaway for this statue is the strength of our tribal sovereignty. Everybody getting a chance to finally kind of come together. I think about my grandfather, Willie Frank Sr., who had his mouth washed out with soap for speaking our language. But now you're hearing our language being awakened. You're hearing it spoken. You're hearing our songs, our drumming. And so it's a good time to be alive right now. It's a good time to be in Nisqually.
I tell the children, never forget who you are. Never forget to protect our treaties and our culture and our way of life and the education of what we're all about. And you can make a difference. You can make a big difference in the world, just one person.